Hey, what's going on, parents? Welcome back. Happy Teenager Tuesday.
Yes.
We are in part 2 of this series that we're doing on strategies for the summer with the one and only Nate Stuckey.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, Pastor Nate.
Hello.
How are you?
Feeling great,
Good.
man.
How's Prosper?
Prosper's awesome. Yeah, we're having a blast out
That's
there,
good.
man. Out
Yeah.
in the high school.
I love that.
If you live in Prosper and you haven't been coming, come check us out.
That's right. Come
Yeah,
on.
it's gonna be
Hey, if
fun.
you missed last week, go back and watch it.
Yeah.
Just a quick summary is we're giving strategies that help you take advantage of the summer, be intentional of summertime with your middle schooler, your high schooler, to not kind of miss this time in phase or anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So we kind of ended last week talking about how a consistent schedule
Yep.
is a good thing and a big thing. Number 4 is kind of a little bit different with that. Like,
Yeah.
those kind of go a little bit hand in hand.
Yeah, absolutely. So number 4, like we're talking about using this as a time to add a new activity to your weekly schedule. So I think that summer is a perfect opportunity to start implementing some things that maybe you haven't done before, but you'd really like to start doing. Because honestly, change always incites change,
Yeah.
right? Like whenever summer comes, everything's kind of changing anyway. So it's the perfect time to implement some new things. They're already kind of in that change mindset. And honestly, so if you've ever had a dream of, like we talked about in the last one, a movie Monday or doing specific things like that, this is the time to kind of implement some of those new strategies, and they'll be more inclined. Not always, they might push back some, but more inclined than another time to
Yeah.
kind of start getting into a new rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
So a couple of things that we wrote down, like something as simple as praying together before meals. Like that's something that I'm trying to do more with my wife and stuff like that. And I just think it's a great time to start doing that with students or whatever it is. That can be valuable. A devotional in the morning, coming up with a no phones at the dinner table rule. It's a great time to start that. Sharing a Bible verse to discuss over lunch. Those are all kind of Bible-based things, but even things like going on a walk together, having in the evening, taking the time to go on a walk together or redecorate their room with them or come to Hope Student Hangouts, just
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
kind of using this as an opportunity to push them to start something new and add it to that consistent schedule we were talking about last week.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and that's good. We do have summer hangouts for every campus. You
Yeah.
can go on the website to kind of find what are those and those kind of things. We are most changeable when something else changes.
Yep.
You know, when you go through a season of life, you're most malleable during the kind of beginning point of that new season. So yeah, we can use those summers to start to implement those new things that we were, as parents, that maybe you want to add that you haven't yet.
Yeah.
Another thing, kind of speaking of like adding things in or, you know, kind of growth moments, kind of be intentional about those. Number 5, which I think is great, do less for them and do more with them.
I love
do,
that.
Do
So
less
good.
for them, like less cooking for them and have them cook with you. Less shopping without them and bring them with you. Like talk through a lot of those things that maybe, you know, they either haven't ever done that you know will be good for them, especially if they're starting to, like when somebody gets close to driving, they're 15, you take them out to a parking lot, right? An empty parking lot to like help them drive. And
Yeah.
you explain all of it, you know?
Yeah.
And some other times with things, we can just like, oh, they're going to college, you got this. You know, like this time is another time that we can bring them with us, especially if we're a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home dad, we work from home. There's a lot of things that we can do. So a few of these, I mentioned taking them shopping with you, bring them with you to run errands, you know?
Yeah.
Because
that's good.
That's also a time that you can connect, that you can bond, you can listen to their music. I have that on here. While you're driving to and from places, listen to music that they like and show them music from back in your day.
Yeah.
From my favorite, when I was in high school, you know?
Yeah.
Like music is a bonding thing. So like
good.
bring them with you instead of just kind of doing it for them and leaving them at home a lot of that time. Another thing, which is big, housework. Cleaning, yard work. You know the quote, give a man a fish, feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, feed him for a lifetime.
Yeah.
We all know that quote. In Japan, a lot of schools don't have janitors because they make all of the classrooms rotate and clean their room and clean the hallways because they see it as we're instilling the importance of respect for where they are and all of that. So maybe you're a mom or a dad that like you always do the dishes, you always clean up their room, you always
Yeah.
do whatever. Make them do it with you.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, explain the value that comes with it. Not just like, no, you have to. Like, explain the why, the reason, and all of that.
Super good.
Yeah. And going off of this,
Yeah.
number 6, teach them what school doesn't.
Yeah.
Teach them what school doesn't.
love
Dr.
that.
Pam, I hope I'm saying this right. Waddle, I think. Dr. Pam Waddle. Something.
Waddle? Probably Waddle.
It's a paddle. but
Sorry, Pam.
Waddle. Anyways, she did a very interesting research project on children having questions where they take those questions to be answered. Like her whole research was basically like, where do children find answers? Children being like super young, from like 4 years, all the way through high school, and through this found some very interesting things. Through her research, she found that 34%, ages 6 to 15, do not believe that their parents could help them with their own homework.
Wow.
They don't believe it. So whether they can or not, maybe you might be thinking, I can't. But a lot of them don't even go. Her point was, they don't even go to their parents to ask and see.
Yeah.
They just inherently believe that's not the place for my questions. They don't have the answers. Google has the answers. 54% of those surveyed admitted that Google is their first point. Their first point of contact when they need an answer to a question, which is very different from past generations. Because, in the 90s, I couldn't ask Google. I couldn't Google, the word didn't exist.
Yeah.
So I had to ask my parents. And so it was a point of authority for that too.
Yeah.
And so there's some authority that inadvertently has been taken away from a parental figure, whether that's a parent, a guardian, a grandparent, whatever. So much of that has been taken away, and it makes it so that students less believe a parent, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
So, what do you do with them? What do you do with this? And what if they ask you a question that you don't know? First off, if they ask you a question that you don't know, don't be like, I don't know, and then pull your phone out. One thing that you can do is explain, first reward them for asking the question. Never make them feel dumb about a question, because then you're not a safe place.
Yeah.
If you're not a safe place, then they're going to keep Google as a safe place.
Sure.
Like, that will be the place for all of their questions. So instead, celebrate that they're asking you a question, and then say you'll find the answer together. Just emphasize,
That's good.
Let's find it together, even if later you Google.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if you do it together, it's such a bigger deal, give them their thoughts. Little kids, when I was younger, used to argue that, well, my dad said, my mom said, we just don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because they Google it, So,
Crazy.
teach them stuff that school can't, because it brings in authority. It adds validity to you as a parent with authority. A few things. I'll go through these quickly. Teach them valuable things about adult life that school doesn't. How to do taxes, job interviews, what the job force is, mental health, emergencies, and first aid.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Could save their life. They could save someone else.
Sure.
Household repairs.
That's cool.
Have them do it with you. Cooking. We already mentioned that. Like, help them cook with you.
Yeah.
Or bring them to help you cook. How to cope with stress. Nobody can avoid stress. It's a dumb thing to say, I think, but no shame. No, I do think it's like it's frustrating. So don't say avoid stress. Teach them how to cope with stress, because we've been coping with stress for a while, right? Adults, parents, amen. Okay.
Amen.
Teach them forgiveness, family values.
Yeah.
There's a plethora of things that parents know, can teach, and can teach with authority.
Yeah.
And like I said, parents need that authority back. So let's teach them what school doesn't, and bring some validity back with that. We hope that this is valuable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of those things are great points, and hopefully they're helping you get prepared for the summer with your student.
Yes.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great summer.
Hey, and before we sign off, as we sign off, we're going to say, you can do this. You're not alone.
God is with you, and so are we. Have a great week.